Yo, what's good, everybody? Gone Fishing 804. Today we talking about my top 5 pre-spawn baits. Let's go ahead and get into it, man. Swim bait. Gotta get you a swim bait. This here is a live target bluegill color swim bait. Got the nice fat tail on there. If you don't know about these right here, just check a couple links out. This right here is a beast, especially for the pre-spawn season, because during the pre-spawn, fish have especially bass have a predisposition to go after bluegill, because during the spawn, bluegill come and they try to eat the bass's eggs. So he's swimming along, by the nest, and he's getting in there. The mom gonna come, or the male or the female's gonna come and try to get him off of their nest. Swim bait. Also got another kind of swim bait right here, which is a belly bladed swim bait. And it's a paddle tail swim bait right here. It's a KVD Rage Tail, Sexy Shad paddle tail swim bait. This works phenomenally as well, because they starting to tear them shad up during the pre-spawn. They're feeding up, getting ready to spawn, and they love eating shad and bluegill. So this would be going in with the swim bait category, belly bladed swim bait. And if this ain't working for you, then they got the head ones. There's several different types of underspins that you can get, that are very effective during the pre-spawn. Number 4 is going to be the jerk bait. Check this link out. I'm going to leave up here, and I'm going to show you that this jerk bait does work, especially in the colder water conditions, because it stays in the strike zone much longer than any other bait that you're going to be throwing during these cold water months. The fish are more lethargic. They ain't moving around as much, and this is the perfect bait, the perfect presentation to throw when they are slow moving, because when you pop this a couple times and it sits there and suspends, that fish has enough time to come on, swim up, investigate it, see what it is. By this time you jerk it again and bow, crushes it. Like I said, I'll leave a link up top for a video where I'm using this exact lure and catch a 4.5, 5 pounder off of it. So jerkbait is something you definitely want to throw during the pre-spawn when the water is just starting to get a little bit warmer and the fish are still kind of lethargic, not moving around much. This is a Sexy Shad color. It's a KVD J300. They also have a 200, which I like to throw a lot too, but it only has 2 hooks. The 300 has 3 hooks and it dives the same depth. It's just a little bit bigger. So sunny days where the water's clear, well, moderately clear, kind of stained, I'll throw this. On a cloudy day and the water is stained or moderately stained, I will throw this color. It's more white, so the cloudier the water, and especially if you got cloudy conditions, it's harder to see in that water. So I would throw something that's a little bit brighter to grab the attention of the fish a little bit better. We got a spinnerbait. Now this is a willow leaf spinnerbait. It's also a Strike King KVD spinnerbait. Got the silver in the front, gold in the back, all white color. I would definitely throw this on a cloudier day or in kind of stained water. You want to imitate a fish as much as possible, as they say, match the hatch. So this right here during pre-spawn is a definite killer. I also just got this right here. It's like a little mini umbrella rig. It's made by Z-Man and it's called the Quadzilla. I'll leave a link up here for you guys so you will see me using this this exact lure right here, and I catch 4.5 pounder off of it. It's a very good fish imitator especially a fish imitator. I said fish. It's a very good shad imitator. As you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 shad. It's like a little bait ball almost. And I mean, the fish that I caught on this just annihilated. I mean, he choked it. So this is something you might want to look into. That's going in with your spinnerbait lines. This is freaking awesome. Z-Man Quadzilla. Check it out. Also check the link out up top and you'll see this thing putting in work. Next up, pre-spawn fish is moving shallow. They're starting to move shallower. And, you know, they're blowing up on shad. And a great imitator of a shad is a square bill crankbait. If you don't have crankbaits, get you some shad colored crankbaits or a bluegill colored crankbait. This is a 6 cents bluegill colored crankbait. It's a little bit smaller than these two. These are Strike King KVD 2.5s. And crankbaits in the pre-spawn kill it. You want to throw these around structure, especially around like rocks or sunken timber or any type of structure. As soon as this thing goes along and hits off a tree and deflects off, so it's when it hits, you want to stop reeling. As soon as it hits that thing, stop reeling, let it deflect off the side. Once it deflects, reaction strike, bam, you're getting crushed. I'm telling you, it goes down with the square bill crankbaits. Make sure you get you 1 or 2 of these. I like the 2.5s, or you know, you can go a little bit smaller. But definitely during the pre-spawn, like I said earlier, the fish are going to have a disposition to eat bluegill because the bluegill attack their homes and, you know, their eggs during the spawn. So I'll throw this throughout the spawn, even further on, you know. So make sure you get you a bluegill colored crankbait. Something that's going to imitate a bluegill for the pre-spawn is awesome. Last but not least, you're probably going to throw this when it's 64, water temps are like 64 degrees, 65 degrees. You can start throwing this bad boy. And if you guys have watched any of my videos, you know that I love this lure right here. This is the Whopper Plopper 110, and it is a beast. If you don't believe me, check this link out. And you'll see this Whopper Plopper putting in work. I mean, work. So I throw the 110. I don't throw the 90. I don't want to throw the 130. I don't throw the 190. This is it for me. My favorite color in the Whopper Plopper is the T1000. I often do not switch it at all. I always throw the T1000. So later in the pre-spawn and when coming up to spawn, when they're about to start spawning and stuff, start throwing this bad boy around. Pretty soon I'm going to do a video on actually how to cast this, my preferences and all of that. So you guys stay tuned for that one. Yeah. And, you know, if all else fails, throw you a Cinco. Throw a worm. The worm throughout the year, this worm right here, Carolina Pumpkin Chartreuse Yum Dinger with the VMC Rugby Jig is a killer. I'll leave a link up here for that too, for the worm, where, I mean, I've caught countless number of fish on this exact colored worm. This worm is good too for stained water. And what I've been throwing lately is this one right here, which is a Z-Man Big Turd. And just look at the expansion on that. That is bananas. Because you can just like throw this forever. It's so elastic and it also floats. So when you rig it up and you got your hook on there, this thing is going to be sticking straight up like this. And it's going to be wiggling and just looking so juicy. A fish just can't help but to come up and snatch it right out of his spot. So I definitely wouldn't get one of these, or try the Z-Man Big Turd in Junebug color. I'll also leave a link up for you guys to check this one out, see it putting in work. And you know, that's it, guys. Oh, hold on. Don't go. All right, guys, look. Okay, when you go out, you get on the water, you make sure you got one of these on, okay? For real. If you don't want to get a ticket, don't want to get messed with the police, make sure your paperwork is right and you got a PFD. You want to see your boy get a ticket for not having ears? Check out this link right here and make sure you always got one with you, y'all. And it's only one thing left to say. Y'all keep them lines wet, because it's all about the hook set. Later.